Hello, friends, and welcome to Bottled and Bond, a discussion of the James Bond movies and lore alongside spirited companions. I am Mike Scott, and I've been watching James Bond movies for nearly 30 years, but I've never really taken a deep dive into the history and lore of this film franchise. So, alongside my friend Charlie, we're going to delve into each of the 25 Eon-produced movies. During this episode, we will be enjoying a beverage or two that would pair nicely with the movie. Today, we will be discussing the 22nd movie in the franchise, 2008's Quantum of Solace. So find your cigarette case, prepare your favorite cocktail, shaken not stirred of course, and leave your hat at the door while we ponder this question. Is this just a really long epilogue to Casino Royale? This is episode 0022, Quantum of Solace. Charlie, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. It's good to be here.
Been a while.
I know, it's good to be back at my house instead of in Texas for work.
Blustery, cold Indiana as opposed to balmy Texas.
I know. The funny thing is, so it got to be like in the 40s down there, and I went out running on Saturday morning, and people down there had like parkas on and stuff like that. They had coats on their dogs like it was some kind of blizzard or something. It's like, okay.
You were in like a tank top and shorts, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it wasn't that cold.
We have one companion beverage today. This was a hard one to find more than one. So we're having a Barbancourt 5-star 8-year-old rum old-fashioned. So I've never had a rum old-fashioned.
No,
this will be interesting.
I have not either.
Being prepared by
we could have had another Vesper because he does have one of those. But I mean, we usually don't double things up.
We could have had J&B because it was on the plane.
Yeah.
Barbancourt is a Haitian rum, by the way. So that's the connection.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Couple errors and omissions. And it's been forever now since Casino Royale. But when we were discussing, you were discussing Die Another Day in the Casino Royale episode, you kept saying Tomorrow Never Dies. You clearly meant Die Another Day.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I struggle with which one is which, name-wise.
We also failed to mention our slap and tickle count. We're up to 48, and Bond in a Boat will remain at 10, I believe, for
eternity.
Well,
I mean,
or at least for the next three episodes.
Until they make make another movie, maybe they'll go back.
Only one little news item, and I'll put a link in the show notes. There's an interview with Lenny Kravitz regarding the upcoming video game First Light. He's going to be the bad guy in that. He just talks about his history with Bond. It is interesting.
Oh, okay.
Let's do the plot summary. Instead of doing something fun like dropping him into a smokestack, James Bond captures Mr. White and brings him to M for interrogation. It is revealed Mr. White works for a secretive organization that is most definitely not going to be Spectre in this movie.
Right.
After Bond kills the MI6 traitor that helped Mr. White escape, 007 is sent to Haiti to try to find more information on this organization. With the help of Camille Montez, Bond discovers that Dominic Green, benevolent environmental crusader, is actually in an organization called Quantum. Definitely not Spectre,
right?
Which works with powerful people all over the world to overthrow regimes and create chaos to their financial benefit. Bond recruits Mathis out of retirement to quickly die for him in Bolivia. Felix Leiter tries to help Bond despite Sheriff Hopper of the Hawkins Police Department standing in his way. Bond and Camille go to the desert, things blow up, Green gets caught, and eventually has his oil changed while receiving a couple bullets to the head. Bond then goes to Russia to kill Vesper's boyfriend, who was playing her the whole time. Finally, we get the traditional James Bond gun barrel at the end of the movie, which tells you all you need to know about the necessity of Quantum of Solace.
So, the entire movie was the pre-gun barrel scene?
Yes.
And then
which doesn't exist. There's no that's the first thing that comes across in every movie.
I know.
Yeah, so our cast for this, and we have Daniel Craig as James Bond, second of 5 appearances. Olga Kurilenko as Camille Montez. Matthew Amalric as Dominic Green. Judi Dench as M, 6th of 7 appearances. Giancarlo Giannini as Rene Mathis. Gemma Arterton as Strawberry Fields. She never says it in the movie, but she's credited as Strawberry Fields.
I was gonna say because I saw that credit, and then when I watched the movie again, I'm like, she always just says Miss Fields.
Yeah. Jeffrey Wright as Felix Leiter, second of three appearances. David Harbour as Greg Beam.
It didn't take you long. I wondered how long it would take to get to the Stranger Things connection.
Had to do it.
Yeah.
Jesper Christensen as Mr. White. Anatole Taubman as Elvis. I don't know who that is. Why is that in here?
Who Elvis is?
Who was Elvis?
Elvis is bowl cut guy.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I have comments about
And
him.
honestly, the only reason I know that is because I read things about them giving this guy Elvis a bowl cut. I never heard his name in the movie, and I saw these little things. Oh, they thought it would be good if they gave Elvis this bowl cut, and I'm like, oh, so the bowl cut guy's name is Elvis.
Rory Kinnear as Bill Tanner. Joaquin Cosio as General Medrano. Jesus Ochoa as Lieutenant Orso. And Tim Pigott-Smith as the Foreign Secretary.
But that general's a real nice guy,
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
he?
Yeah. Crew, we have it directed by Mark Forster. He is the director of one of my favorite movies of all time called Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh, that is one of your favorites.
Yeah. Screenplay by Paul Haggis, Neil Purvis, and Robert Wade. Music by David Arnold for his fifth and final time. Cinematography by Roberto Schaefer, and production design by Dennis Gassner. A lot of new and different names in this one.
Yeah.
Theme song, Another Way to Die by Jack White and Alicia Keys.
So you like that theme song?
We'll see where it ends up ranking.
It's not as good as the Casino Royale theme song.
It's not as good as, it may be better than Moonraker, and that might be it.
Everything's better than Moonraker.
Release details. Okay, this is the last time. So, in honor of Craig, this premiered October 29th, 2008 at the Odeon Leicester Square.
Oh my gosh, it finally happened.
It clicked. Because I looked ahead, and none of the next three
of the
premiered
rest
at it.
Wow.
But Bond 26 might, so then we'll go back to our joke.
Yeah.
UK opening was Halloween of 2008. US opening November 14th, 2008. Budget adjusted for inflation, $257 million. Worldwide box office adjusted for inflation, $776.6 million. Good for 11th out of 25.
So kind of the middle.
Insane that this one was 11th.
What was the last one?
The last one was, I think, 8th.
Okay.
It was a little higher than that. Yes, it was 8th out of 25.
I'd like to see a list of all of them ranked by box office.
I
at some
have that
point
list,
when
yes.
Yeah.
So what's your history with this one? I did not see this one in theaters. I don't even remember the first time I actually watched this one. I think I was like really busy with work and life and stuff, and I didn't go to the movies a lot at that point.
Same.
Yeah, so I did not.
I don't remember seeing it, honestly. So I don't know.
Plus, I was big back then about seeing reviews and stuff beforehand, and I'm pretty sure I saw that everybody said it was garbage, so I didn't bother with it.
I mean, they probably didn't say it was great.
We'll go to the scene-by-scene breakdown. We start off with no gun barrel opening. WTF.
Yeah, I kept waiting for it.
Ridiculous.
At some point in here, I wrote no gun barrel sequence after I figured out maybe we aren't going to... Because once you start seeing the title, you're like, okay, well, I think we're past the point where they normally do that.
So we just drop straight into the action. We're on the coast next to some mountain. This was filmed in Italy by Lake Garda.
Okay.
Bond is dodging gunfire in his Aston Martin DBS and being pursued by Alfa Romeo 159s.
Pretty awesome car chase.
Yes. It is a very good car chase.
The first of many chases we will see in this movie.
The crew was like, this was really difficult to film just because of how narrow it was. That was the biggest problem with it, because you have all these cars that had to go all these speeds and stuff to get them to it.
And apparently, they destroyed several Alphas and several Aston Martins during the filming of it.
Yeah. That's what inflated the budget to $257 million.
Right? I mean, that'll do it.
One of the pursuing cars ends up taking out a cop car and continues firing upon Bond. Bond pulls out his trusty machine gun, shoots the driver, and the car plummets over the cliff, but it does not blow up. How is this a Bond movie when the car doesn't blow up when it goes over a cliff?
Well, they spent all the money on the car chase. They
Right.
couldn't afford the pyrotechnics.
Eventually, Bond arrives in Siena, Italy.
Well, hang on. I got a question
Okay.
for you. So you notice that the door of his car gets removed during this car chase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as far as I can tell, it was removed by a truck that he's passing that had a thing sticking out of the side of it. Was like the truck part of the, it didn't make any sense to me what was protruding from that truck that speared his door and ripped the door off. But, it added to the danger of having that car door totally torn
I'll
off.
tell you this: you can ruin this movie all you want. It won't hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
So Bond eventually arrives in Italy, pulls into a garage, and he opens the trunk, and Mr. White's in there.
And he says, time to get out.
Yep. And then we go to the opening credits. Like I said, Another Way to Die by Jack White and Alicia Keys, written by Jack White. This song's never going to grow on me. I try, and I don't like it. I do not like this song.
No, and I'm going to
The first duet also, by
Yeah,
the way.
it is. But I'm going to tell you one thing about it as a duet. Their voices are so similar to each other, you almost have to concentrate to see which one of them is singing. They both sing in the exact same range.
Yeah.
It's not a great song.
I will say the music and the way it's integrated into the movie is good, but the song,
Yeah.
it's so forgettable.
Yeah, the sort of soundtrack or the movie music is just fine.
The credits are cool. I do like the credits in this one a lot.
Yeah, and they went back to scantily clad women.
Yes. Always a good decision.
Yeah, I'd say.
We're back in Siena now. So Mr. White is tied to a chair while M looks on. M gives Bond some info on Vesper's boyfriend. They found a dead body. They thought it had his identification and stuff on it, but they did a DNA test, and it turns out that was not Vesper's boyfriend. During all this, cold-hearted Bond is drinking some whiskey and says that Vesper was nothing to him.
Right.
A lot of denial.
Nice guy.
Bond and M begin interrogating Mr. White. They ask him about the organization he works for. He laughs that they know nothing about them because he assumes that MI6, he makes a line like, we always just assumed you guys were right on our tails the whole time.
Right.
And you don't even know we exist. And then M says something like, well, we're fast learners. But then White says, the first thing you should know about us is that we have people everywhere. And then all of a sudden, one of the MI6 agents pulls out a gun, shoots another agent, and then starts firing at everybody.
Yeah, and it looked like he shot M. You couldn't really tell exactly what was happening.
Yeah. His name was Mitchell, and Bond grabs a gun, and as Mitchell's escaping, Bond grabs a gun and pursues him. During this action, there are a lot of cuts to this horse race, so we're going to call that Chekhov's horse race.
Do you have any idea what horse race this is or whatever? I found nothing about the horse race.
No, I mean I think it's just a thing they run in. I mean like the ones we have at our casinos around here. I think it was just something
but it was
like that.
through city streets and stuff. You'd think that
Yeah,
would
but
have
it
to
ended
be
in like a
famous
pavilion or something.
I don't know. It was weird, right? It looked like they were on city streets or something.
It looked cool too. I will say
It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did look like it.
The traitor escapes onto the racetrack. As it finishes, Bond continues to pursue the traitor as he just shoots and kills random people. When some woman just standing there, she gets shot in the chest, falls to the ground. We get another chase. We get our great rooftop foot chase as Bond is completely destroying himself in pursuit. Did you get any aches and pains while he was doing that?
I know, right? I read they had to reinforce some of these roofs because they were actual old, ancient buildings and things like that, and they had to reinforce the roofs so they wouldn't fall through as they're running through there.
What's impressive is that you actually arrived here today that way. You jumped across all those roofs and on the trees and stuff, and just got to my front door that way.
Well, I started learning parkour
after Casino
Royale, and I thought this will be good practice.
This is why we needed a 3-week break.
Yeah, exactly.
Bond rings a bell at a church to draw out the traitor, I guess.
I don't even know if that worked.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of that was. Happening. But they fight hand to hand as they fall into the church. Countess Tracy made a very funny joke because there's just this crane in there.
Yeah.
Crane logic redeems itself in this movie.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and they fight on a lot of scaffolding
Yeah.
in that building. And the funny thing is, so I wrote more yet less realistic. Right? So many things, little tiny things have to exactly
Yeah.
happen. So like the violence looks more realistic, but at the same time, you're like watching them fall from these things on the scaffolding and
Yeah.
all this, and nobody ever gets hurt enough to not be able to like stand up and run away. But still, it's a cool chase scene.
This scene is one that really solidified for me why I'll never be big on this movie. And it's the direction, the constant cuts. Like, you literally were on a scene for like a millisecond, and then he cuts to a different shot. And it was just so many different quick cuts that it was kind of driving me crazy. Bond ends up stuck, hanging upside down on a rope, grasping for his gun. The traitor's Mitchell is going for the other gun, but Bond finally does grab his off the floor, looks up just in time, shoots and kills the traitor. And he returns to the hideout and sees that M and Mr. White are both gone. So
We
now
used to do a nice Alfa Romeo 156 police car outside
Oh, okay.
when he's walking outside.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess if you're in Italy, right, that's what kind of cars you have. It's right, kind of like
When you see the BMW cars or something here, or what's the one, or like there's some
well,
cop
like
cars that are
when
like
you're in
Mercedes or
Germany.
something.
In Germany, I've seen like Audi police cars,
okay.
and you ride in like Mercedes taxis and things like that, right? Because that's what kind of cars they have
Gotcha.
there. But seeing an Alfa Romeo police car, that's kind of cool.
So what would the American one actually be then? A Corvette cop car?
There you go. Right. Well, in our state, we used to have a lot of Camaro cop cars.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Undercover Camaro cop cars.
Okay. We now go to London. Now, I will say, one of the coolest things in this movie were like the title cards when they went to the different locations, because they like kind of integrated them into the shot. So I think the London one, it was like on the street as they were driving over the street.
Yeah.
M is watching from a high floor at an apartment as Bond arrives. Bond enters.
Was this the dude's apartment? The
Yes,
trader's
this
apartment?
was Mitchell's
Okay,
apartment.
I thought so.
Yeah. Bond enters the room as a Bond clone stands outside. I don't know if you noticed, but the guy that was standing guard outside looked a lot like
Oh, did
Daniel
he?
Craig, or at least in the glimpse that I saw of him. The agents are tearing up Mitchell's apartment as M reveals he was at MI6 for 18 years.
Yeah.
M and Bond discuss Mr. White's mysterious organization. We then go to MI6 with Bill Tanner. And Bill Tanner is a character that's been in Bond movies before. He's like chief of staff or something like that, I think is
Okay.
his title. This is played by Rory Kinnear, son of a guy by the name of Roy Kinnear, who was Veruca Salt's dad in Willy Wonka.
Oh, wow.
If you look at him, they look very similar. You can
Wow.
see the resemblance. Remind me after the show, I'll show you the pictures.
Okay.
Rory Kinnear's been all kinds of stuff too, but I remember him from this. We then go to this specialist that's showing him that they've been tracking Lashif's money that's been distributed all around the world.
On a super fancy computer
Yeah.
table.
Yeah, and they reveal that a large stack of bills can be traced to Haiti and to a guy named Slate.
Yeah. By the way, they didn't really need the computer table. The guy could have just explained this to M in like 5 seconds without like flipping his hand around.
But it's
and moving
2008.
all these little pieces.
It's
I
gotta be
know,
fun.
We have to make it. Yeah.
Plus, Minority Report had come out by
Oh,
this
I was
time.
about to say, right? That's the thing. Yeah.
Imagine if that technology existed where you could just like touch a screen and move stuff around. Crazy.
I think, yeah. It doesn't move that fast.
No,
though,
it does not.
Right? That's the thing. We've never gotten it to where the things on the screen,
Especially if
actually
you're on an
move that
Android
fast.
phone. We now go to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and this is where we will get our companion beverage.
Okay.
We are back. We have our companion beverage, which
right.
is the Barbancourt 5-star 8-year-old rum, old fashioned.
Okay. I've never had a rum old fashioned.
Neither have I. Cheers.
Cheers. Tastes good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's really
refreshing.
good, actually.
It
I have
is.
not I've mentioned this many times before. I'm not a big cocktail guy. I think I've had more cocktails doing this show than I had in my life before
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But that's very tasty. I've only had a few old fashions. I actually had a very interesting old fashioned at this pizza place recently that we were just telling you guys downstairs about. It had cigar bitters in it,
Really?
and it had like a smoky cigar flavor to it because of it. And it was
Wow.
actually pretty good.
Hmm.
I was impressed.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. But now we'll go back to Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Okay.
These scenes were actually shot in Panama. They didn't shoot anything in Haiti. Bond arrives at the Hotel Dessalines. Definitely 5-star accommodations.
Oh, yeah,
I think you could see the insects on the walls.
Yes.
Bond commits some breaking and entering. Could you figure out how he opened the door?
No.
What he used?
No.
I couldn't either. It's like, why did they hide that intentionally?
I don't know. Right? Because we're watching a movie.
Yeah, he could have used a credit card. He could have used
Anything. He could have had some little
could have had-
tools in his pocket.
He could have had one of those devices from the old school movies. That would have been a nice callback.
I know.
So he's in the room checking it out. All of a sudden, a knife man comes out and attacks Bond. Bond brings some scissors to the knife fight,
Yes.
throws the guy out on the balcony, and then dispatches of him by severing an artery in his leg.
Well, that'll do it.
That'll do it. Bond cleans up a bit, grabs some keys, goes downstairs.
Whoa. He puts his clothes on. He
does.
puts the dead man's clothes on.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, which becomes important.
Yeah. He asks for messages at the front desk and gets a briefcase. And he then leaves the hotel as another hotel desk employee is checking out Bond's perfectly formed ass.
Yeah.
A mysterious woman picks Bond up in a tiny Ford Ka.
Yes. How about the Ford Ka?
That was a little car.
Ford has really, really paid to,
They
because
have.
Aston Martin was still Ford.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they really got their cars in here. We'll see a very old one coming up.
Yeah. So this mysterious woman is Camille Montes, played by Olga Kurilenko. They drive off. Amanda's...
Olga Kurilenko sounds like somebody who should have been like a Russian gymnast in the 1970 Olympics or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure,
72.
obviously, her dad is Russian, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure her mom is Latina
I would
of
think
some
so.
sort.
I know, but the name just sounds like, oh, that should be some famous Russian gymnast
I agree.
we've heard of.
Yeah. As a man pursues on a motorcycle, Camille
Is that your friend? I don't have friends.
hides in an alley. Bond opens the briefcase and examines the contents, which include a gun and a photo of Camille.
Yeah.
Bond states he thinks someone wants to kill her.
Yeah.
So Camille immediately tries to shoot Bond. He blocks it and jumps out of the car.
It is funny because he's obviously surprised. He doesn't
Yes.
know what's in the briefcase.
Yeah.
And so he's honest when he says, I guess someone wants to kill you, because he didn't realize that's the job he's taking.
Yeah. And this is kind of where the plot stuff starts to really get, you really got to focus and pay
Overly
attention. Yeah.
complicated.
Motorcyclist stops, tells Bond he was supposed to shoot her. He says he missed. Then he knocks the guy out and takes the bike.
Okay. The way he takes the bike, I really did enjoy this. He
That was cool.
basically hits the throttle
Yeah.
real fast, so the bike just goes right out from under the guy and flips over, and then
It's
he
pretty
knocks
awesome.
the guys out. That actually was one of my
Yes.
favorite parts.
We get a brief shot of Tanner and M in London. Tanner calls Bond, and M asks about Slate, the man with the tracked money that Bond just killed, and Bond says he tells M that was a dead end. So
Yes.
M's looking pissed again. She's like, he killed him.
I mean, if we would take time to explain, it made
Yeah.
sense why he killed him, and then he took his identity
Right.
to do something else, right? That's why he puts the guy's clothes on, so
Yeah.
that someone will think he can basically take over the guy's
We know.
identity, like he did in, oh gosh, what's one of the old ones where he does that, right? He gets the messenger and kills him, and then takes over his identity. Yeah, we'll go back and look.
Maybe it's Never Say Never Again, which I've never seen.
No. It's one we've talked about.
Well, he did take the identity of the general in Octopussy, where he,
He
had the
did.
mustache and everything.
But
Yeah.
it was before that.
Okay.
We'll go back and
we'll
look. We'll
research
put it
it.
in the
Errors and omissions next
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. So Camille We go back to Camille. She's arriving at the docks, and Bond is driving by on his motorcycle. Camille then confronts a guy by the name of Dominic Green. This is Mathieu Amalric. I don't know how to pronounce that name in French. Mathieu. I know him from Wes Anderson movies. He's been in several Wes Anderson movies, including the French Dispatch, which I really love. The French Dispatch.
He's very unlikable in this
Oh,
movie,
absolutely.
isn't he? Like,
yes.
As a bad guy, boy, do you not like him.
The book I was reading about this, I have that book that's got all the stuff on all the movies. He was like, I want something that makes me stick out, like Blofeld had that scar, you know, can you give me something that's like, no, you just have those crazy eyes. That's enough. That's all we need. Oh, because they're good eyes for
he's
that.
slimy in this movie, right? He's so bad.
So Green's chatting with Camille about him trying to kill her as Bond looks on. Green shows her a dead body in the harbor, which was one of his best geologists. Camille apparently was asking the geologist for information about Green, who knows she was a traitor and was trying to get to somebody else by the name of General Madero.
Okay.
Madrano.
I mean, the first thing I thought is, do you really go back to the guy who tried to kill you? Like, he could just kill you right there. And actually, I don't know why he doesn't, although I guess in a few minutes we see why he doesn't.
Well, she even says that, too. She's like, why would I come back here if I was trying to kill you? Because she really wasn't trying to kill him. She was just trying to get information to get to that Madrano guy. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. Bond gives the harbor guard a Universal Exports business card. It's been a while for that.
I did like that.
He asks the guy to tell Camille to call him.
I liked that the guy called and got the phone message for Universal Exports saying it was closed at the moment.
General Madrano is talking with Green about destabilizing the government so that Madrano can take over Bolivia.
And they film a really nice scene where they both have to face opposite directions while they're talking. I guess that makes it more dramatic or something like that. I wrote that in my log right here in my book. I got the book.
You got a lot of notes for such a crappy movie. I mean, for such a movie.
Yes. But I said, why are the bad guys looking in opposite directions?
They're contemplating life and their choices.
I guess, and they can't look at each other or something, like regular human beings do in a conversation.
Green, in return for helping destabilize the government, asks for a piece of land in the desert, which apparently does not have oil. So this is setting us off that there's obviously some other reason he wants to do this. They then discuss a guy by the name of Montez and his daughter Camille. Camille comes up and then meets the general. During this, we see Bond heading away on his bike, and then the general leaves with Camille on a boat.
I mean, the guy gives her to him.
Yeah.
And he says, promise to drop her over the side when you're done with her.
Yes.
Pretty ominous thing to say, right?
And we should point out, too.
Disgusting.
We see in this scene, too, Camille, she's got a bunch of scars on her back. And those will be explained later.
It took me, I kept saying what was on her back. And Becky said what's on her back. And I couldn't really figure it out, but yes.
Bond does some parkouring on some boats. And then
with a motorcycle.
Yeah.
He jumps over the boats on a motorcycle.
And then he steals a little dinghy and crashes crashes it into the side of the general's yacht.
He steals the fastest possible terrible looking boat that you could steal, right? It just happens to be super fast.
Yeah. And then he
rescues Camille off the boat.
Okay,
when he crashes into it.
Camille is trying to kill the general.
Right.
But Bond gets on there, grabs her, and they escape via boat.
We don't know what she's trying to do yet. And it isn't obvious. She isn't doing anything yet, but he rescues her, and she's pissed. And, of course, she still thinks he's like the assassin.
Yeah.
And then he's having to fight her with one hand and drive the boat with another hand.
The boat is called the Guardians of the Stars.
Okay.
It's a shame the movie didn't end here. Then we get another Bond on a boat count.
Right.
But now we get boat chase time. What I will say about this boat chase, there was no CGI. This was all Bond. It was all Daniel Craig and Olga Kurylenko doing this stuff. So that was pretty cool.
So do you think he saved her just because he's like, oh, I don't want her to get stolen by this guy. Like, he couldn't hear what anyone was talking about. He had no idea what was happening.
This is a very woke Bond. He's not a chauvinist, so
I
he
guess.
really is more.
But he doesn't even know
more
he's
of a
saving
feminist.
her.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even know why
Who
she's
knows?
on that boat.
Bond is playing chicken with these pursuers and then plows right into them. Bond causes one of the pursuers to ram the back of his boat, and it crashes in the sea as Camille gets knocked out. I thought that whole thing was really weird. The way he stopped that other boat, like I don't know. I couldn't figure out exactly what happened.
I mean, can you put on the brakes in a boat? But I guess he sort of stopped, and then the other boat like flew up on top of their boat, and that's when she got knocked out, and it threw the other boat off kilter, I guess, and then he was fine.
I couldn't quite figure it out.
And then he immediately abandons the girl.
Well, he docks the boat, and he's carrying Camille, and he hands her to a dock attendant. And then I guess we get a quip. Thank you. She's seasick.
I mean, so I guess he thought he was saving her, but he doesn't want to. He thinks she's not part of it or whatever,
Yeah.
and he just abandons her there. I didn't.
Yeah, we don't know
really-
her motives very well, and
We
obviously
don't.
Bond definitely doesn't know her motives.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
But then why did he feel like he needed to save her? I don't.
I don't know either. These are the many questions we have with this movie.
Yeah.
The best car in this movie is now coming up because Bond finds a Ford Bronco and steals it.
Yeah.
It was a 1989
Yeah, I
Ford
was going to
Bronco.
say a very old Ford Bronco.
I really want a Ford Bronco sponsorship. I would love if Ford would send me a Bronco for
Oh,
this
yeah.
podcast. And I mean, I would do commercials.
Even just as a company car while we're doing the podcast.
Even if we when we went back to do our Dr. No Redux that we may do eventually,
Yeah.
I would cut in for a Ford,
And I'd take
Ford
the
promo.
80s one, like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
driving.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily, right? I might even rather have the old one than a new one.
There's a great TV show called Shrinking with Jason
Yeah.
Segel. He drives an old school Bronco.
Oh,
It's
I thought it was
amazing.
an International Harvester Scout.
I'm pretty sure it's a Bronco.
Oh, you could be right.
We'll fact check that,
Yeah.
even though that has nothing to do with James Bond.
Still, the Bronco is great.
I love the Bronco.
Yeah, it's
M gets a call from Bond, who asks to look up a guy by the name of Dominic Green. They eventually find him. He is the CEO of a company called Green Planet, which, like I said in our plot summary, he's an environmental crusader. He clearly is not a bad guy at all.
No. Totally a good guy trying to save the planet. Well, killing people, you could view that as saving the planet, Mike, because then there are fewer people and you don't need as much oil and fossil fuels and things like that.
What's
so.
the Ebenezer Scrooge line? Call the surplus population or whatever.
Yes, exactly. One of the greatest books of all time.
Yeah.
Yes.
M calls the Americans to discuss Dominic Green. She speaks with his name's Greg Beam.
Yes.
He's the section chief of South America, who says they have no interest in Green whatsoever. While he's talking to M, we see Felix Leiter sitting there next to Beam on the plane.
Yeah, we do.
That was David Harbour, obviously, known from Stranger Things. He was also in a great show called The Newsroom. Did you ever watch The Newsroom?
Never
It was
seen
an Aaron Sorkin show on HBO that
Really?
had Jeff Daniels. Very good show.
Okay.
M deduces that Green is of extreme interest to the U.S. No way. That's impossible. He just said that he wasn't. So we see Bond arriving at the airfield.
Well, because she says, but did you notice they immediately transferred me
Yeah,
to the South
immediately
American
the South
section
Amer- yeah.
chief? So they
Yeah.
definitely know who he is.
Bond arrives at the airfield, discovers that Green is heading to Austria. Green...
By the way, Austria, wonderful, wonderful place. If you
Oh,
ever get
yeah.
the chance to go there,
I would love to.
highly recommend it.
Well, a great movie by the name of Before Sunrise takes place
Oh
there.
my gosh, that's a great movie. Yeah. That is such
I
a
believe
good
they get off the
movie.
train in Vienna.
Yeah. I've been to Vienna.
One of the best Bond movies takes place
I
in
felt
Austria.
off of there because I had gotten food poisoning from Czechoslovakia,
Yeah.
from Prague, and then we wandered around Vienna. But definitely go to Austria.
There's been another episode of Charlie tells us about his sickness in Europe in the,
Yes,
in the 80s.
I have also technically been to Haiti for a very short period of
Really?
time. On a cruise at a port, so it
Oh, okay.
barely counts. But I did step foot in the country of Haiti.
Okay. Green hops on the plane that Beam and Leiter were on, and it takes off. So these...
Yeah, I mean that, right?
Immediately.
he's never heard of him, and then
5
he
minutes
walks
later,
onto
yeah.
the plane. It is pretty good.
The CIA does agree to step aside with the Bolivian overthrow as long as the U.S. gets oil rights. You know, I'm so glad that we've moved beyond all these like weird South American conflicts. I mean, this stuff
Right.
doesn't happen anymore.
That we
so-
do, quote unquote, not just for oil rights,
Yeah.
and oil has nothing to do with it. Yeah, all these things.
We don't get involved in regime changes or anything like that.
Gosh, no.
That'd be
No,
crazy.
We would never do that.
We're not a political podcast. Beam is shown a picture of James Bond, asks Felix Leiter if he knows who that is, and Leiter says he does not. Why didn't Beam know that Leiter was just in Casino Royale with James
I know.
Bond?
I was a little confused by the whole.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Leiter was going to get in trouble. But then again, I kind of assumed maybe he's like, well, I'm not going to say anything in front of this criminal because maybe I'm not supposed to. So I let it slide, Mike.
That's crazy that you let it slide.
Yeah, I
and
let it
didn't.
slide.
Wow.
Because I thought there could actually be a legitimate reason why he wouldn't. Like, you don't, when your boss is there and the bad guy's there, you tell your boss later. You don't say it right in the meeting.
But then Beam immediately says that's James Bond.
He does. It's very confusing.
It is.
But Beam had looked at it already. I don't know.
We go to Austria now. Dominic Green leaves the CIA guys at the airport.
We could have had some kind of Austrian.
I guess we could have.
I don't know. I don't know what they have there, but
Beam is talking to Felix, asking whether he needs Felix to be on the team, and Felix is not. Bond arrives.
yeah. I mean, I think we know at this point that Beam is kind of a jerk,
Yeah.
and that Felix is going to have to do the right thing at some point.
Bond arrives and tracks Green to the Bergens Opera House.
Is that what that was?
That is what that was. He steals a tuxedo and heads
Out of
to
the dressing room. I did like that move, and then they show the guy like looking for his tuxedo later.
heads to a swanky party as Green's mingling around. He sees that gift bags are being handed out, but then there are special ones under the table that are being given to certain
Yeah,
people.
special people get the special gift bag.
Bond heads to the old WC,
Yeah, you know what that stands for?
water closet.
Yeah, yeah.
He knocks out one of the guests and takes the special bag, which has an earbud in it. Now we have opera time.
Yeah, do you know what opera it is? Did you look this up?
Well, I put a note here. Charlie spent many weekends in his youth at the opera, whereas I only got the soap variety.
Right.
So tell me, what is this opera?
It's Puccini's Tosca.
Okay.
I mean, I looked that up. I don't know
I have
anything about the
literally
opera.
never seen an
technically.
opera.
No. I mean, the only opera I've seen is in the movie Amadeus, where Mozart writes some operas and
Okay.
they show little pieces of the opera in the... I can't imagine going to a thing where you can't understand what the people are saying and you have no idea what's going on the whole time. Like, I don't get why that's popular.
I know. They should have subtitles at the opera. Then I would go and
And
check
maybe
them
they do now.
Maybe
but
they
I
do.
still... I don't know. I've never felt the need.
out. Bond watches from the rafters as the guests are chatting via the earbuds. Green is making some deals and discussing the overthrow of the Bolivian government. Bond interrupts the negotiations and then spooks all of those guests and is all of a sudden, as they're all standing up to leave, he's taking photos of them.
Yeah. The funny thing is, so, he's just listening to him and he's trying to scan the audience and see who it is. And I watched it the second time with Becky yesterday. But of course, the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh, he can't tell who's talking, right? And right as we're at that scene, Becky goes, he can't tell who's talking. There's no way he's going to be able to tell who's talking. I said, just wait like 2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought the same thing when I watched it the first time. He smartly tells them basically that they're caught.
Yeah. So they all start leaving.
And then he sees who they are.
Yeah. We do get a quick shot of Mr. White while Tanner
Yeah,
is,
like he's too smart to get up and go,
Yeah.
I guess.
Tanner is back at MI6 checking out all the photos that Bond took.
Did you hear what White said? He goes, as all these other people are leaving, he goes, I guess Tosca's not for everyone.
Nice. Green then beats a hasty retreat and Bond catches up to him. We get a shootout in the restaurant and kitchen with Green's henchmen. Bond then confronts somebody outside, asks who he works for. I believe he says, piss off.
Yeah.
So Bond is holding him over the edge of a building. Bond lets him fall off the building and land on a car. That was a nice homage to The Spy Who Loved Me with the guy where he's holding his tie and then he just lets him go
Yeah.
in Morocco. But then Green, the guy's not dead.
No, no.
But then they say something like,
Is he one of ours?
yeah, no.
Then he can't be looking at me,
So then they shoot and kill him.
obviously.
Tanner gives him the intel on all the opera guests. The man thrown off the building was the bodyguard to a guy by the name of Guy Haynes, who is a special envoy to the Prime Minister. Got some big people in this one.
The Prime Minister of Micronesia?
We're going to go the Prime Minister of England.
Oh, okay.
Or the UK, sorry.
Maybe you haven't seen Zoolander enough to get
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Is that the one where it's like, how are they going to fit all these children in this little building?
Yes. What is this, a school for ants?
Best part of that movie is David Bowie.
That is terrific. There are a lot of good parts of that movie. Come on.
M tells, okay, sorry, yes, the gasoline fight is one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history.
There's some good scenes.
When they play Wham's Wake Me Up Before You Go.
Yes.
And they're just shooting gasoline on each other.
Yes.
Okay, back to Bond. M tells Bond about Haynes' bodyguard, and then Bond's kind of flippant about it, and she restricts Bond's access. Bond's going to the airport.
She cancels the credit cards.
Yeah.
She has all this stuff done.
Bond's trying to get to, I believe at this point he is trying to get to Bolivia because he knows that they're in Bolivia.
I think so. Yeah.
So he's trying to get a ticket. His credit card is declined. He tells the ticket agent that she's about to get a call about him. He asks her to tell them that he's heading to Cairo.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. And of course she'll do it because, I mean, every woman will swoon when Bond says anything.
Yeah. Okay. But where is he right now?
He's still in Austria.
How's he get to Italy?
Walks? I don't know.
I don't know,
It's not
right?
that far
He's
apart.
suddenly,
well, you can take a
he's just
train, I
there.
guess, yeah.
But he has no money.
Well, he doesn't have a credit card. Maybe he's got cash.
Okay. Maybe.
I mean, like I said, ruin this movie all you want.
Okay.
It's fine. So we're in Talamone, Italy. Bond reunites with Mathis. Turns out he wasn't a traitor and he's now retired. They bought him a nice house for all the trouble he went through.
Yeah, and he's got a lady there.
I got to say right here. So I watched this on Blu-ray upstairs, but then we watch it in our living room when Tracy watches it with me. They didn't have subtitles for any of the foreign language stuff down here. So I had to try to translate what they were saying in these kind of scenes for Tracy.
So when he's talking to
when he's
the
speaking in
lady who
Italian
lives
to
there,
his
you couldn't tell?
his girlfriend or whatever.
See, I had subtitles.
Yeah.
Whatever I was watching on had subtitles, so I could tell at least what he was saying in Italian to the lady. Talking about when he goes, don't give him any wine. You know, he's still pissed at Bond and don't give him any wine. And she's like, you only buy cheap wine anyway and all that stuff. Yeah.
Bond asks for Mathis to provide him with some credentials. Mathis gives Bond info on the guests that were at the opera, including Guy Haynes. Bond eventually does ask Mathis to join him in Bolivia because Mathis had previously worked in South America for 7 years, so he has contacts down there. Then we go to the plane.
Let me ask you a question. These are the kind of things I think of. How long has it been? Because obviously Casino Royale just happened when this movie starts. So how long has it been that they figured out Mathis was okay and give him this villa?
Here's what I think.
A couple weeks?
I guess you could argue we don't know how long it was from the time that Vesper died to the time that Bond goes to see Mr. White, because he would have had to have figured out where to find him.
It was like 10 seconds.
It was 10 Yes, it was 10 seconds in the movie. It could have been a little bit.
Maybe.
So for you giving the benefit of the doubt earlier, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt.
I guess
on this
we
then.
also don't know how long it took Bond to heal, right?
Yeah.
Because he gives up Mathis when he's still like kind of in the wheelchair with the blanket on, and then he heals, and then he's with Vesper. But still, I immediately thought, boy, there's been a lot of time for Mathis to get really set up in this place and find himself a girlfriend.
Yeah. We're now on the plane, which I assume Mathis paid for. Bond is drinking the 6th of his favorite martini on the plane.
A Vespa.
A Vesper.
The Vesper.
Not the scooter, the woman.
Okay, same thing.
My favorite part of this is that we get to see J&B Scotch in the background.
Oh, is that where we saw it?
Yes.
Okay.
For the second time in a Bond movie.
Yeah.
First time being The Living Daylights when they run over all those J&B Scotch
umbrellas.
umbrellas.
Yeah, the umbrellas, yeah.
We now go to La Paz, Bolivia. The scenes in Bolivia were actually shot in San Felipe, Mexico, Panama, and Chile.
Okay. It's a lot of places.
Bond meets consulate employee Strawberry Fields forever at the airport.
Who apparently feels that a proper outfit is a raincoat with nothing on, or
Yeah.
a mac, as the English would call it,
Yeah.
with nothing on underneath. You see no shirt and nothing coming out.
Is
the
that
bottom
short
of
for
it.
Macintosh, right?
I think
Isn't
so.
that a Macintosh?
Yeah. But why didn't she have clothes on?
They're just skimpy. She tries to send Bond back to London. I mean, and he immediately does and goes back to London, gets chastised, the movie's over. Oh, wait, no. He just ignores her and
Yeah.
gets a cab. Mathis is on the phone with a contact in the cab while the driver's complaining almost as much as Charlie does.
Almost. That was actually really funny.
That was the other one. That was the scene where Tracy could not see any of the subtitles.
Yeah. Because you could see the subtitles, and the driver's just complaining about like his.
He's old man
grandmother.
yelling at a
He's-
cloud.
Yeah,
Yes.
he really is. While Mathis is trying to be on the phone, and
Yeah.
Mathis keeps saying "Kayate."
Yeah.
But yes, if you don't have subtitles, you can't all you know is this annoying cab driver is just babbling on.
Yeah. Bond and Fields arrive at a hotel. Once again, 5-star accommodations. This one looked really nice.
I know.
So snooty James Bond insists on going to a nicer hotel.
Did you hear what she said? She goes, "This is part of our cover.
We're teachers
We're
on sabbatical."
Teachers on sabbatical.
Then they cut to a shot of them at the Andean Grand. And I'm
Okay.
going to consider this a quip, I guess. Bond goes to the front desk. "We are teachers on sabbatical and we have just won the lottery."
That was really good because she goes, "It doesn't fit with our cover," and he goes, "Yes, it does." And then he just changes it to teachers who just won the lottery. I did actually enjoy that.
That was good.
That might have been my favorite line.
Bond checks out the room that they go to. He doesn't look behind any of the paintings for bugs, though. Missed opportunity.
I know he's really he's very hit or miss as far as looking
Yeah.
for bugs and things like that.
Mathis says he's going to have a drink with his contact. And then Bond says something like, "There's no..." You wrote
He
it down,
said
right?
something like,
No
He
stationery?
goes in the other room and he's like, "I'm having trouble finding the stationery. Will
right.
you come in here?" And she, of course, then just takes all her clothes off, apparently.
So we get Slap and Tickle number 1 with Strawberry Fields.
I thought this one was even worse than the one in the ice hotel where,
Yeah.
there's no reason that she's
Yeah.
going to sleep with him. Like, I just didn't. It just seemed cheesy to me.
While Countess Tracy was preparing her drinks, Becky, who was down there with her,
Yeah.
made some very critical comments about that scene.
I thought it was totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I mean, even for a Bond movie, unrealistic.
Yeah.
There's no reason she doesn't like him. She's supposed to send him back. We find out later she's just an office worker.
Yeah.
It just didn't make any sense.
But could you imagine a Bond movie that had no Slap and Tickles?
Well, I know.
Is that
but
really a Bond movie?
I know. But to me, it's like they just threw
Yeah.
it in to have it.
I get
there.
it. I get it. Bond and Fields then head to a charity fundraiser. He asks for her real name, which she still does not disclose. We see Green giving a big environmental speech about how his eco parks are going to save the world, and Bond, Fields, and Mathis are all there watching. Mathis then introduces a guy by the name of Carlos to Bond. As Green is receiving money for his charitable endeavors, Camille walks up and embarrasses him by basically calling him a scammer.
Yeah.
So he loses that donation. Camille and Green chat while Leiter and Bond look on. Yes, Leiter's there too. He's just sitting there looking very curmudgeonly.
Yeah. And then he basically threatens her. He could throw her right over the
Yeah.
railing.
But before that, Bond and Green chat. Or I'm sorry, no, after that. Sorry,
Yeah,
you're right.
after
You're right.
that.
Bond and Green
walks
chat
up
with
to kind of rescue her.
Green getting some barbs into Bond. Bond escorts Camille away, And Fields comes up and trips one of Green's henchmen, who I now know is a guy by the name of Elvis, who is wearing the world's worst toupee.
Exactly. He falls down, and they show the little shot of his toupee having
looks
fallen
like
off.
Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber with that toupee.
It's really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I wrote down, did she trip bowl cut guy? Toupee? Those are my.
If you're going to get a toupee,
notes.
You're supposed to make it look good.
Right. Get one that actually doesn't look awful. But I mean, I think the people making the movie just thought it would be funny to make it look so bad.
Bond asks Camille to show him Green's Tierra project.
Yeah.
As some motorcycles pursue them. So the cops pull Bond over, ask for his papers, and tell him to open the trunk. And Bond's like, why would you want me to open the trunk? We see Mathis passed out in the back. He was betrayed by Carlos. Carlos was like a Bolivian general that was one of Mathis's contacts.
Well, because, and also, like, we see Mathis with the guy, and Mathis is like, oh, this guy will help you. Oh, my entire police force is at your service.
Yeah.
But, of course, then we find out, really, Green has the police force.
Or Medrano.
Yeah.
Bond's holding Mathis up, and then the cops shoot Mathis in the back.
I mean, I feel like Bond used Mathis as a human shield.
It's quite possible.
Held him up and turned toward those guys. I think he knows he was going to get shot because they start yelling to shoot him.
I am not a fan of this scene. So Bond's holding Mathis while he tells Bond to forgive Vesper and to forgive himself. That was really nice. And then Mathis dies and Bond throws him in a dumpster. I don't think any Bond would ever be that
and
cold.
Then the lady even calls him out and he goes, he wouldn't have
cared. Yeah.
I don't know.
I was not a fan.
I mean, even leaving him on the ground is better. Like, they're going to find him.
Yeah. It's just weird.
It was weird.
But we now go to the desert. Bond and Camille drive to an airstrip while M is informed that Mathis is dead.
I guess they just know where this airstrip is. Random airstrip. Bond
charters a very old-looking jet plane.
A Douglas DC-3.
Oh, nice. Good job. We then learn... there was this, like, whole thing about how, like, the guy that gave them the plane said that he wanted Camille in exchange for the plane.
Yeah.
But then he was like, he'll make more money from the people he calls to tell that we took the plane.
Right. So he gets the largest, least maneuverable plane of all time.
Of course. We then learn that Camille is actually former Bolivian Secret Service.
Yeah.
Bond tells Camille about Green being responsible for M almost dying. And there's some line like, Did
he kill your mother?
He killed your mother?
She thinks she is.
She thinks she is. We then see a jet shooting at Bond's plane.
Well, it's not a jet. It was still a propeller plane, but it was like a fighter plane.
Wait, what? The plane that was shooting at him was like a fighter jet, right?
It wasn't a jet. It had a single propeller on the front.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
But still, it was a very fast maneuverable plane. Yes, it was like a fighter plane with machine guns, but still it was probably, World War II vintage like the Douglas DC-3,
Gotcha.
But it was still much faster.
So Bond's plane is starting to have some issues. Unfortunately, they don't have a vehicle in the back that they can escape out of this time.
I know, right? And they don't, the cargo doesn't fall out of the back and it flaps in the breeze while they fight on it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I wrote jet, so the plane with the guns on it that's not a jet shoots up one of the engines.
We better look this up for real now, in case I'm wrong.
Bond maneuvers his plane to cause that other plane to crash into the mountain.
I didn't really I mean, the other plane's faster, clearly. I mean, but, it's a Bond movie. Yeah. So, right, he makes the other plane crash. And now we've had car chase, foot chase, boat chase, plane chase.
Yeah. Camille's putting on the parachute while Bond looks for another one. They almost run into a helicopter.
Yeah.
So Bond takes the plane, flies it up vertically so that he can more easily fall to the back.
Yeah.
And then he jumps out of the plane with Camille, but he doesn't have a parachute. From previous Bond movies, we know this isn't going to work out well. There's no way Bond is able to catch up
when
to
he
something.
dies.
Yeah. The chute is released right before. I'm sorry. He catches Camille. He pulls the chute together, but they're like what, maybe 30 feet from the ground when they pull the chute.
When they're not 30 feet from the ground, they're 30 feet from the underground of a
Yes.
sinkhole, which
Yes.
if they had not fallen into, I guess they would have just been both toast on the regular ground.
Yeah. So we're saying it's softer, and that's why they survived.
Sure.
Okay.
But also it's way below the surface of the earth. They would have hit the earth well before, and they were just lucky enough to fall into a sinkhole where they had more time to pull the parachute.
Get a brief cut with Tanner talking to M, giving her some info on Mathis's death. M then goes to meet with the foreign minister, asks for time to further investigate Green. I mean, it all.
And the guy goes, not really.
Yeah, we're going to get oil. It always comes down to
Exactly.
oil.
We can't just do business with people we like.
Yeah. The minister tells him to pull him in, and we all know Bond's used to pulling out, so that didn't work out.
Oh my God. Is that written down? Let me look
Nope.
at my notes here. That must be written down.
That was not written down. Bond looks for a way out of the cave while showing some chivalry by giving Camille his jacket, because, it's cold in
Wasn't
caves.
that nice? Well, it's right. They're underground.
Yeah.
It would be cold.
It's always
even
like,
though
what,
they're in the
50-something
desert,
degrees, yeah?
I guess. Although the top of it is open, so I'm not.
Yeah.
But I guess heat rises, so I don't know. We'll have to go there and do some field research.
When we get our show from Amazon, Amazon's going to give us $100 million to go
Then
to
we
all
can
of
go on location
Yeah.
where all these movies were.
them. Are you listening, Amazon? Camille is explaining her reasoning for hating Medrano. Medrano killed her father and sexually assaulted her mother and sister while she watched. He then set fire to their house while she was inside. So there's your explanation for her scars.
You know what? She's allowed to hate him.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll allow that.
Yeah.
Right? Normally, you shouldn't hate people. There are very few people who are really like worthy of hate, right? But this guy, yeah, I'll grant you that. That's pretty awful.
Bond discovers an underwater lake while he's looking around, realizing that Green wants the water, not oil.
Right.
They eventually find a way out.
He sees that he built a dam in there.
Yeah.
And so he trapped all the water. And we also sort of like they cut to scenes of the people not being able to get water out of their cistern or whatever,
Yeah, because we see Bond and Camille. They walk to this small village, and all these people are there trying to fill up their water buckets, but there's nothing there. But then we see them on a bus in the desert heading back to La Paz.
Have we had stealing water before in Bond or something with water? I can't even remember now. Like we've had so many things. No, we had water under Silicon Valley.
View to a Kill
with
yes.
Zoran. He was making
gonna
the water
flood
go
everything.
there. Well, and it was going to cause the fault to
Yes.
go, and it was going to be a giant earthquake. And
To
that's
to
right.
flood Silicon Valley, so
Yeah.
he had all the microchips.
Because we've had plenty of oil. Like there's only so many things that these people can be fighting over, I guess. So that's right.
We're back in La Paz. At the hotel, Bond sees this message from Fields telling him to run. Bond gets to the room, sees M waiting there, and she's chastising him. Bond refuses to accept that he's motivated by revenge as opposed to his duty. We then go into the bedroom. We see that
You said duty.
Fields was killed by skin suffocation. Oh wait, no, sorry. She was drowned by oil.
I know, right?
What an homage to Goldfinger that was.
I know. If you go back, it's almost the same pose. I mean, it might even
No,
be
it was.
the
They
exact
did that on
same-
purpose.
did
It
they?
was the
Yeah.
same pose.
Yeah.
But it wasn't with gold. It was with black gold. Texas tea.
tea.
Bond is taken into custody, but not for long because he goes Captain America on the elevator against the agents. He knocks 4 agents down inside a tiny elevator.
I mean, that is pretty good because he's going to do it, right?
Yeah.
He's going to get away from these guys. But
In tribute to Captain America, my note here is James Bond England's ass? Because, Captain America is America's ass.
yes.
Bond confronts him, dodges some agents, then gets away. We see Tanner.
He's removed from duty.
Tanner tries to give him some info from the CIA, but she rebuffs him, tells him to figure out where Bond is going.
Where does Bond go?
Well, Camille is outside in a Volkswagen Bug. It may be Herbie the Love Bug. I don't know.
Could be. I didn't see the numbers on the front, but he might have had a new paint job.
So she picks him up.
She doesn't just pick him up. She says to get in, and he says, what? And she goes, I said get in.
Nice.
Which reminds me, thankfully, we're going to have a Simpsons reference. And I think I've actually mentioned this one before, when Mr. Burns buys a casino and he becomes a recluse, kind of like Howard Hughes, and he builds a wooden airplane out of popsicle sticks, just like Howard Hughes builds
the Spruce Goose.
And this one Mr. Burns calls the Spruce Moose, and he says it'll fly from, Cairo to whatever in whatever amount of time. And he tells Smithers to get in, and he goes, but it's just a model. And Burns cocks his gun and goes, I said get in.
So you're saying Bond stole this from The Simpsons, because that Simpsons was clearly before this movie.
It probably was, and it was a great line. I said get in.
We see Leiter and Beam chatting while Leiter strongly resists the urge to beat the crap out of Beam. He clearly doesn't like him.
I know, he does not.
Bond tells Leiter to come out to the city and meet him.
I like how he calls, and he's like, says something about, asks him how he got the number. He's like, you guys really need a better cover because the cab driver told me where CIA headquarters was.
Nice. I have a note here. We already discussed it, but I have Leiter and Bond have a very dated conversation about turmoil in South America.
Yes, they do.
Felix gives Bond some intel on Green's location as the CIA starts shooting without asking any questions. He basically tells Bond at the beginning of the conversation he's got 30 seconds.
Right. And, Bond asks, he's like, how long do I have? About 30 seconds. Yeah. And they're arguing about, the merits of... Felix is actually kind of trying to toe the company line of we have to do business with these bad guys, but then eventually tells Bond where Green is going to be.
Right. We have all the shootout and stuff, and just this whole time, Leiter's just sitting there drinking his beer, and he finishes his beer.
Very funny. He finishes his beer while all these guys are running around shooting.
Walks out, explains what happened to Beam in very brief terms. He basically says, I said what we agreed that I was going to say.
Yeah.
We're now back in the desert. We see Medrano relaxing at a very remote hotel with that General Carlos guy.
Very fancy. Very remote hotel.
I mean, I don't understand this hotel. There was nobody else there. When was this built?
Why was it built?
Is it Green's hotel? I don't
know. And they do say, very importantly, that the hotel is run on fuel cells.
Yes.
And
it'll come up later.
I did read this desert stuff is filmed in a place which has never had measurable rainfall ever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's some desert where the weather stations there have never, ever had measurable rainfall.
Wow.
I mean, it looked pretty desolate.
Yeah. Bond and Camille are scoping out the hotel. Green arrives with his henchmen, including Elvis, and a briefcase.
And he has the regular TV neck brace on, right? Because he fell down the stairs. That was one of the last times I saw him. He's got the TV neck brace, but it's a black neck brace. So when you're a villain, you can special order the black neck brace instead of the normal white neck brace that you would wear on a witness stand in a TV show.
General Carlos is given his payoff and walks out. Medrano's given two things to sign. He signs the first one, pretty straightforward. Then he reads the second one, which is giving Green rights as exclusive utilities provider in Bolivia.
Okay, did you notice, before Bond gets there, how creepy was the scene where the hotel waitress brings them drinks and the general makes a creepy look at her and the other guy, and then he goes, take it to my suite.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's gross.
Back to these contracts. Medrano reads the second one, refuses to sign, says it's twice what they're paying now. Green threatens Medrano if he doesn't cooperate. He basically just says, well, we'll just put somebody else in power.
Well, he says the current guy wouldn't sign it either.
Yeah.
In other words, that's why you're getting to be the president. And if you...
Yeah.
He has a very graphic description of how he'll wake up.
Oh, yeah. With certain things in his mouth,
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We see Camille scaling the building, jumping into the hotel. Madrano does, of course, sign the contract and gets his money. We're back in the hotel room, and the employee that brought the cerveza is being assaulted by Madrano.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Bond jumping on Carlos's car, getting his revenge for Mathis. He takes out some henchmen.
Yeah.
Camille shoots the guards on Madrano's door while Green scrambles. She then heads to Madrano's room and starts fighting him. During this, things are starting to blow up. Green barely escapes an explosion.
Because of the fuel cells.
Because of the fuel cells, and he's getting chased down by Bond. And then Green brings an axe to the fight. So they're fighting. They're fighting outside.
Notice, okay, before they get there.
Yes.
Did you notice that Bond's chasing him and Green wants to keep running? So he poses bowl cut guy with his
Yes.
arm. He poses his arm pointing in the direction he thinks Bond is coming. And then bowl cut guy explodes, ? I wrote. But I think he does.
Yes.
Like he's standing there where Green made him stand, and then that part of the building just explodes,
Yes.
and bowl cut guy is dead.
Yes.
I assume.
I actually liked the axe stuff. I thought that was really well choreographed. Like
Yeah.
him with the axe, Bond fighting. It's just so funny. It's like, you really think guys like this are on par with Bond in terms of fighting skills? But then what would the movie be if they weren't?
It's funny you mentioned that. I was seriously going back and forth in my head about, has Green really learned to fight? Or is he just, if you have an axe, obviously
Yeah.
it's hard to fight you, even if you're a trained person, because the axe is, very sharp and you're swinging it around. But yes, I was contemplating at that point whether he was trained to fight or whether this was just kind of, if you have an axe, it's hard to fight against you because you might get axed.
Yeah. We go back to Madrano beating the crap out of Camille, who has rescued the girl that was being assaulted, so she gets to leave.
She leaves.
Camille's trying to get her gun. She grabs a shard of glass and stabs Madrano.
Pretty good move.
Yeah.
In general.
So a lot of back and forth here. So now we have Green swinging the axe. He eventually manages to get his own foot with the axe.
That was pretty good.
Funny.
Yes.
Then Camille grabs Madrano in a very uncomfortable spot,
Yes.
in a very uncomfortable way,
Yes.
grabs for her gun, shoots and kills Madrano. And of course, at this point, Green hears his gunshot and thinks that, Camille's dead.
Yeah, he says, it looks like you lost another one.
Yeah.
Because, of course, he knows about Vesper.
Right. Bond pulls Green up to save his life. Because at this point, he's dangling from the
He's killed so many people,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he thinks, well, I shouldn't kill this guy.
Right. He goes to rescue Camille from the CGI fires. As the hotel is about to explode.
Thank goodness CGI fire heat doesn't actually affect people who are basically right on top of
Here's
that
what I
fire.
will say about the fires.
Yeah.
There was plenty of real fire there. They were really in those fires. They just had setups so that the heat dispersed in different directions. It was interesting.
Yeah.
So there is CGI, but not all of it. There is real fire there.
But in real life,
Yeah.
they would have been burned, A, and B, the smoke inhalation
Oh,
would
yeah.
easily have made them pass out.
Absolutely. As the hotel is about to explode, Camille thinks Bond is going to kill them both, but instead,
I think he was going to.
instead Chekhov's hotel wall falls down, or not Chekhov's hotel wall, but the wall starts to fall down, and he sees the fuel cell.
He sees the fuel cell tank in the wall, and he shoots it and knows. I think he was about to actually shoot her in the head.
I think so.
Because she said she didn't want to die in the fire.
I think
which
so.
I get. And he said, close your eyes.
Yeah.
So I think he was really going to do it. And then at the last second, he notices that tank. He hits it. And fortunately, none of the explosion hurts them. And they just walk outside.
Come out the
casually.
side of the building.
Yeah.
Not Chekhov's wall, but I think we would say a Deus Ex Machina, I think would be what it would be called.
Yes.
How convenient. Green makes the smart decision to try to escape in the desert.
Right. Well, I mean, what choice does he have, right? They are in the desert.
I mean,
and he
there's an
just starts
airstrip right
walking.
there. Couldn't he have
Yeah.
hijacked a plane?
Right.
Bond takes Green farther into the desert after interrogating him. Too bad none of the water he controls is available to him, but at
Right.
least Bond was kind enough to give him a can of motor oil before he left him.
Yes. I figure you'll get 20 more miles before you decide to start drinking
Yeah.
that.
We then have Bond and Camille arriving at a train station, discussing what to do now, and then they ultimately part ways. There was a brief scene where Bond kisses Camille.
Yeah.
She doesn't really seem to have any kind of feelings for him like that, so she was just kind of taken aback by it.
I
But
think
Bond,
she's still in shock.
yeah,
Also, right? She's in shock and she's thinking, well, I finally killed the guy I've spent my whole life trying to kill. Now what do I do?
yeah. And Bond didn't press the issue or anything. It's just clearly Bond has gone through some stuff.
Yes.
So now we go to Kazan, Russia. This was filmed in Hampshire, England. We see Vesper's boyfriend arriving home, and the woman he's arriving with is the star of the TV show Castle,
Is that right?
Stana Katic,
Really?
as Corinne Venot. She's a Canadian agent.
We
Bond,
don't know it at first.
not at
but
first.
Yeah.
Bond tells Corinne that the boyfriend is going to betray her, so she heads out. But he mentions there also that
Well, he's got the necklace. She's got the same necklace.
she's got the
on
necklace that Vesper had. Yep.
And he says, I have the same necklace, and he's going to betray you and ask for information. You need to go back to your people and say there's a leak.
Yeah.
And apparently, this is taken from the short story Bond in New York,
Really? I didn't see that.
where he has to go tell an agent that her
Oh.
boyfriend is a bad guy, basically.
I'll have to read that one now.
Yeah.
Because I only read the Quantum of Solace, which we'll get to here in a
We'll
minute.
get to in a second because it's uncanny,
Yeah.
the similarity.
Oh, yeah. After getting some information from the boyfriend, you think this is the tipping point for Bond.
They
He's
make
either
you
going to
think-
kill the guy and he's gone, or he's going to
Yeah.
not.
You
kill
make
the guy.
you think that they'd kill him because
For his
he
revenge.
was responsible
Yeah.
for Vesper, but of course he's learned his lesson,
Yes.
right? And he doesn't just kill people.
So he leaves the hotel room. The MI6 agents go in. M's outside, giving Bond information on Green, who is dead in the desert from 2 bullets to the head, and they found motor oil in his stomach.
Who shot him?
JR. No, wait, JR was the one that got shot. Sorry.
Yes, he was.
Maggie.
No, Maggie
Simpson shot him.
Yes.
She also says that Leiter got promoted to Beam's position at the CIA. So good for Leiter.
Yeah.
Countess Tracy the whole time is like, oh, Beam's going to die, right? She did not like
I mean, you
Beam.
thought it. No, nobody. Right. He's obviously
Yeah.
smarmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bond tells M that she was right about Vesper as he walks away, dropping Vesper's necklace in the snow.
And she says, Bond, I need you back. And he says, I never left.
Right. So our closing shot of the movie is James Bond in the gun barrel.
I know, right? They do the gun barrel at the very
and
end.
then we get the theme song, the
Yeah.
traditional theme song. And that's it, Quantum of Solace.
Whew.
Couple trivialities. Well, we got more than a couple. The original script was to be even more of a direct sequel to Casino Royale,
Okay.
and was set to release exactly 1 year later. Unfortunately, there was a writer's strike.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem with this movie, is that there was a writer's strike. So they actually started filming before the script was done. Many of the Bolivian extras were actually indigenous people from Panama.
Oh.
Dan Bradley, the second unit director, worked on Bourne movies before this, which explains some of the things about these movies.
Really, really does.
2 little things you will have little knowledge of, I think, because you don't watch these movies. But Guillermo del Toro voiced the hotel concierge.
Oh, that's funny.
He's the director of Pan's Labyrinth, Frankenstein, The Shape of Water, plus many other movies. Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu voiced the helicopter pilot. He directed movies including Amoros Perros, which I really like, Birdman, which I really like, and The Revenant, which I just thought was okay.
I've seen 2 of those.
I think he won for Birdman. I
think so. I believe
And
that's
Birdman
right.
won Best Picture also. I don't
Yeah,
think he
yeah.
won for The Revenant.
No. It was
He-
good.
But that was cool. That was cool that both of them did voices.
Yeah.
There was no audio commentary on this one. This is the first Bond movie I have only watched twice before we did our recording.
You only watched twice.
Yeah, you only watched twice. Book comparisons. As we said, just kidding. There are no similarities. The book is basically Bond listening to a guy tell a story about a couple in Barbados.
Right.
Feel free to expand upon that.
So, I mean, the one thing I'll say about the book is that it makes the title make sense, right? In this movie,
The book actually, or the short story actually tells you what quantum of solace means.
that's right. And because basically this couple, the man is like a administrative government worker for the colonial England government.
Yes.
And the woman, I guess, is like a status seeker. And
Well, she started out, she was like a flight attendant.
Yeah,
And he
that's
fell
right.
in love with her.
That's right.
And they got married.
But she's a status seeker,
Yes.
and she starts, because her husband is just some government worker, she starts, dating guys at the country club.
Do we say
golf
dating?
course.
It was like it was one
Yeah.
guy that she
Yeah.
like had quite the fling with.
And the husband eventually gets so upset with this whole situation that he no longer has a quantum of solace in his marriage. And the whole theory of this governor telling the story is that you have to have at least a quantum of solace for your relationship to work. And the guy just loses it, divorces his wife, leaves her there with nothing. And she's kind of loses it too.
Yes.
But dun, dun, she had been at the dinner party with Bond.
She was at the beginning with the Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I liked the story. I
the
actually
story
did
was
like that
fine.
short story. Yeah.
But it is weird because the story is another guy telling a story to Bond
Yeah.
at a dinner party and had nothing to do with the movie.
No, and the story, there's no spy stuff or anything.
No.
It's just an interlude with James Bond waiting for
Listening
his
to
next
this guy
mission or
telling-
something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the first time that's happened either. There's another one. Did you read The Spy Who Loved Me yet?
I don't know if I have.
The Spy Who Loved Me is insane because it has A, it's nothing to do with the movie.
Okay.
B, it barely has Bond in it.
Oh,
It's weird.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read that one yet.
So yeah, it was. I liked the short story a lot.
The story
actually.
was
Yeah.
fine. It just was not in any way related to
Yeah.
the movie. It's like they just took the title and go, we can do this. And legally, we're not allowed to use the term specter, so we'll just call it quantum.
I guess I'll have to research that. I don't
Yeah,
know why
were
they
not-
didn't use.
They did
I
not
didn't think
own
they
the
were.
rights at the time, and so they had to come up with something else because somebody else, like maybe the people who owned Thunderball, still owned it or
Maybe.
something. You know what I mean? Who did Never Say Never Again, but they did not own the rights to Spectre.
Final thoughts and rating. So we'll talk about what I liked. I felt there were some License to Kill vibes with this one. I don't know. I just had that vibe because it really
Well,
wasn't.
the revenge thing.
Yeah, the revenge.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. There wasn't like this big megalomaniac that was going to take over the world. It was a more.
He was just going to
contained
take over
story.
Bolivia, apparently.
Yeah. I like that it clocks in under 2 hours, although still it was a struggle to watch twice, if I'm being completely honest. Things I didn't like, I already mentioned it, that quick cut camera work.
Yeah.
It got really annoying. And as I said in the opening, it seems more like an epilogue to Casino Royale than its own movie. Because if Casino Royale didn't exist, this movie makes absolutely no sense at all. So
Yeah.
I don't like that about Bond movies. I want my Bond movies to be self-contained. I don't want a continuing story. Unfortunately, this isn't the last time we're going to deal with that with this, but this is the worst time we're going to deal with this, in my opinion. So my rating,
I think so.
I ultimately, I don't hate this movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a good Bond movie, and
Yeah,
a lot of stuff
hear you.
doesn't make sense. So
The plot is unnecessarily complicated. Keeping track of who the people are is unnecessarily complicated.
yeah. So I'm giving it 3 stars. And I'm still. The other 2 3-star movies are Octopussy and The World Is Not Enough. And I think I got to put it above both of those. So I'm going to put it at
see
number.
that.
I'm going to put it at number 18.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, things I liked. I mean, the car chase is good. It's got some
Yeah.
good Bond elements in it, right? I mean, as unrealistic as the airplane chase was, it was fine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some good, fighting and good guys and bad guys and all that stuff. That part is fine. Things I didn't like, again, I think the plot is unnecessarily complicated. it just, there's,
I really wish they'd have had the rights to Spectre because I
Yeah.
think it would have been a little better.
it might have been a little better. They could have had Blofeld, like they weren't allowed to have Blofeld and all that stuff. But it was okay. I mean, but yeah, I didn't love the villain. He was so smarmy, but he
Yeah.
wasn't like just a great villain, Bond villain, I didn't think. I mean, I'll give it 3 stars too, right? It's entertaining. I have those same movies as 3-star movies.
Yeah. No clowning around in this one. That's why I put it above Octopussy.
No. I'll agree. I'd put it right above Octopussy as well.
So what's your number? Is it also 18 then?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, it's fine.
Let's go ahead and do the other one. Let's talk about the song.
The song's
Another
not great.
Way to Die.
Song's not great. Let me look here. It's better than Moonraker, but that's all I'm going to say. It's better than. So it's 21, I guess, because Moonraker will drop to 22. I mean,
Do we
just
have
not great.
21 on there? Isn't because we don't have. We should only have 20, right?
21, dude. I'm looking at your sheet right here. 21.
Oh, that's because there's one movie that has 2 theme
Yeah,
songs.
yeah,
That's what it was. Okay, so you're saying 21.
Yeah, it just pushes Moonraker to the bottom. It's not great.
Ooh, I don't like the Sheryl Crow song.
Yeah, I liked that one better than you did, I think.
I love Jack White. I really do.
I do.
It's just, this was a dud,
Yeah.
but still, I mean, From Russia to With Love, it's like a Sinatra knockoff.
From Russia with love.
Yeah, I'm going to put it at 18. I'm going to put it right below License to Kill.
You go for it.
Yeah, so. Slap and Tickle.
Either way, it's
Yeah.
not great.
Slap and Tickle count, 49. Bond on a Boat count, 10.
Yeah.
Our next episode, a little movie called Skyfall.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
When's
to
the last
that.
time you saw that one? In the
It's
theater?
been a long time, probably. Yeah, it's been a long time. I've probably only seen it one time.
That's going to do it. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Mike.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Bottled in Bond. If you'd like to send us a message, you can do so at bottledinbondpod@gmail.com. Till your next briefing, pour yourself a drink, light a smoke, and find yourself a spirited companion. Goodbye.